I'm Gene Manzanet. I'm Vice President at U.S. Bank and Community Leader here in the near south side of Milwaukee. It's been an honor and a privilege to continue to work as a member of the board here at Journey House.
My best memory of Journey House, I can't think of one thing entirely. I can think of multiple situations. The campaign to build this facility that we are housed in now, what it's meant to the community and the neighborhood, securing the Green Bay Packers football field, in recent times securing the baseball programming through the association with the city, county of Milwaukee and the park systems. 50 years from now, number one, to look back at the foundation of how and why this organization was started. And no matter what's going on in the world at that time, to always think back and remember why this organization was formed, what it's accomplished in the 100 years of its existence at that additional 50-year milestone.
Anything else you would like to share?
Hi, Mom!
Hi, my name is Sharice Myers, and I'm the Director of Community Partnerships for Journey House. And I have been with Journey House for 20 years. And in those 20 years, my favorite memory is the people. The people of Journey House is what makes this place special. It's what makes us thrive in this community to help serve others.
Okay, so from about 1986 to about 1989, as a teenager, I went to the original Journey House on 19 with my mom. On Tuesdays we did sewing, and Thursdays we did cooking class, which we learned a lot in both of them.
Hi, I'm Ray Arndt. I'm a board member at Journey House and have been so for approximately 15 years. One of my fondest memories of Journey House is actually one of my first memories of Journey House. Back when I was first introduced to Journey House through a friend, my wife and I donated a bunch of computer equipment for the old computer lab in the old youth center. And I just remember the children in the computer lab studying after school, working on their homework. Meanwhile, basketballs are flying all over the gymnasium. Pretty interesting building, and I can tell you, when I look back on those days and see where Journey House now, we sure have come a long way.
One of my favorite moments here at Journey House was when we had our thing called Holidays Around the World. And with that event, it was so memorable to me because it allowed me to see the opportunity how we all come together and see how diverse the Clark Square community was, but also being in a small old theater, which was our Journey House gym, and seeing all these wonderful families being able to come together with live music, doing folk dancing, traditional Mexican music, and really celebrating our culture of who we are here in the Clark Square area.
Hi, my name is John Maselli. I've been a board member here at Journey House for about 16 years, and I have lots of great memories, but I think my favorite is restoring the dilapidated building right across the street with Rafi, Dre, and Angel.
Good evening. My name is Frank Maurer, and I'm a Journey House board member. And one of the true enjoyments that I've been able to receive is being engaged with the Packer Journey House football field and putting together a punt, pass, and kick event, which really has been a lot of fun for myself and a number of other people. So thank you, Journey House, and thank you, Green Bay Packers, for having a tremendous asset in the community.
Hello, everyone. I'm Barb Klein, current board member and past chairman of the board. Important values for me include acceptance, kindness, and treating each person with respect in their quest for learning and improving their lives. Since my days as a volunteer tutor downstairs in the old Journey House building on 19th and Washington, and continuing throughout my service on the board, I've seen nothing but these values being embodied in the tirelessly committed leadership staff led by Dr. Bria, our amazing board and staff here. Every day, everyone who walks through these doors is inspired by them to learn, to grow, and to be their best, including me. So with great pleasure, I would like to congratulate Journey House on your 50th anniversary, 50 years of strengthening individuals, families, and the whole community. And a huge, heartfelt thank you to everyone who has supported us and who continues to support us in our mission. You rock.
I remember my first introduction to Journey House north of 10 years ago when I was coming onto the board, and I was introduced to the organization by an original board member who invited me to come down and see the facilities. We had many conversations leading up to that about the great work that Journey House had performed historically in the Clark Square neighborhood, helping families. And I was very impressed with not only the work that they were doing, but the outcome of that work. One thing I'm really proud of is our commitment, continued commitment, to focusing on the entire family. That's what we've done for the past 50 years, and that's my hope for Journey House and our community over the next 50.
Where the name came from, as I understand it, was the summer of '69 was the first manned moon landing. So that was the obvious, the happy moon. And as I understand it from Jan, Journey House was a name that Mark Feldman had given the group. So it was kind of journeying ahead, and you have Happy Moon, kind of the same summer, so Happy Moon Journey House. So Happy Moon, I think, probably fortunately fell away, and Journey House has remained.
There were community centers started like under the same funding source. They were almost all in black communities on the north side. And Mark Feldman was the one that realized, hey, this is not a black community, but deserving of funding for the community. There really weren't these kind of opportunities for youth in the neighborhood. This was an environment that I think was really exciting and for neighborhood kids, that it was free-flowing. Kids could just come in and do a lot of different things. They could ask for us to create programs, for them that they were interested in. And so there was nothing like it in the area, and that drop-in part of it, just coming in, not necessarily, kids weren't necessarily all interested in doing an art program or photography. They also just wanted to come in and hang out. So many things were going on back then, with Vietnam War and a lot of societal things going on with, in the south side of Milwaukee with discrimination. South side was very segregated. Getting involved with Journey House was transformational in my life, and so many people at that time.
I think the issues that we were addressing back there in 1969, 1970, in a lot of ways are the same ones that are here in 2018, 2019. Issues of poverty, issues of disenfranchisement, issues of education, issues of opportunity. And Journey House was doing its best within the resources we had, as limited as they were, to try to increase opportunity and beyond just the formal programs, to create a sense in individuals, that they had a future ahead, a path ahead, and they could help themselves and help others to achieve that through some of the programs that Journey House offered. And that's a constant. I think that's true. It's true of Journey House and the earlier 21st century as it was back in 1969.
As a worker at Journey House, I learned so much about just how to make things happen, come up with an idea, start a program, and Mark was terrific with that. Not be restricted in what we thought could be done, but be ambitious. And Journey House was a great vehicle for doing that, particularly I think on 16th Street, which was kind of at the time a borderline of the more Hispanic community on the one side, and kind of working class community that was on the other side of 16th Street, and it was kind of a dividing line. And Journey House basically said our doors are open to everybody.
Where the South Side was back in those days, it was very much in a transitional state, and it had been from the 1800s on a very diverse neighborhood. There were at one time, I think, 28 languages spoken at the old school. By the time we got there in '69, it was working class white, still largely Anglo, just becoming Latino, so that really was kind of on the cusp. And a lot of the families were from rural Wisconsin. And one of the big things we did back in the summer of '70 or so was organize a resident council. This was very much power to the people, which was a strong sentiment back in those days. So it was an attempt to get the parents of the kids to get involved, and they actually ran the organization. So there was a lot of kind of empowerment going on there.
Of the youth that were coming to Journey House at that time, each of them, I think, got a lot from it. And I think the impact is, it's hard to appreciate sometimes how much difference it can make. To get involved in a community and do something like Journey House. On an individual level, I think it just changes people's lives. It's so important.
After 50 years, we look back on the number of initiatives that we've been able to accomplish, and especially in the last 10. It's been an amazing ride for me, personally. When we talked about the expansion of the new facility and the creation of the new Journey House facility, that was the launch pad, the catalyst to so many different other opportunities. We were blessed with an incredible partnership with the Green Bay Packers. We were also able to accomplish something that hadn't been accomplished, and that was building out a new football stadium for Journey House in collaboration with the Packers.
So, in 50 years from now, I would hope that, all the efforts of Journey House, have expanded. Many youth have, found that it was a little impetus for them to, learn about this, finish high school, or go to college.
It's hard for me to imagine how far Journey House has come from the time when I knew it back in '69. Back then it was a primitive but well-meaning hand-to-mouth organization that was doing good, but not on the scale that Journey House is doing it today. And if any of us, back in those days could look ahead and see the facility, the programs, the staff, the budget, we would be completely amazed. And my hope is that people in 2018, 2019, if they could look ahead 50 years from now and look back, they will be just as surprised at how much more powerful and effective Journey House has become.
I'm just awestruck, really, at what's been accomplished since my days.